Hey, what's popping, everybody? Welcome to the Circular Economy Hackathon 2023. I am your host, the Chief Storyteller for the Startup Business Campus. I'd like to welcome all of you that are tuning in today at 5 p.m. I'd like to welcome all of you that are tuning in on different social media platforms. Please make sure you guys are following us on our social media platforms. You can catch us at Facebook, we are at Infelici Entrepreneur. You can also catch us on Instagram at infelici.africa. You can also catch us on X at Infelici. You can also catch us on LinkedIn at Infelici Entrepreneurs. Now, first and foremost, I want to congratulate the entire team for the Startup Business Campus. We just had an amazing transformative 30 days event taking place throughout the month of November. Now, the Startup Business Festival was not just an assembly of an entrepreneur, but it was a celebration, a convergence of both innovation and inspiration. Now, at its core, the Startup Business Festival endeavored to redefine entrepreneurship, making it not only a viable venture, but also a trend-setting and accessible pursuit. Of course, we believe in making entrepreneurship fashionable and attainable, and we also believe in the power of entrepreneurship to affect positive change in all facets of society. Thus, our focus extended across the environmental, the social, the economic, as well as the cultural and creative sectors. Now, by having a holistic approach, we strived to have a dynamic platform that nurtures diverse ideas and also catalyzed comprehensive growth. And of course, throughout the month of November, we had key players within the entrepreneurial ecosystem, alongside thought and practice leaders who have carved a path of innovation and success. Now, anchored by a multifaceted lineup, the Startup Business Festival featured an array of events. Now, these events were designed to empower and also to enrich participants. Now, we had keynotes, we had masterclasses, we had workshops, we had panel discussions, we had pitches, we had showcases, we had live performances, we had bicycles, and we had networking opportunities. And of course, the theme for this year's festival event was building a resilient startup ecosystem. Now, in these challenging times, this theme stood as a beacon of hope and determination, highlighting the critical importance of entrepreneurship in the ecosystem as a landscape. Now, for us to achieve such ambitious goals, we were wholeheartedly dedicated to equipping entrepreneurs with essential skills and tools required for them to establish their startups, and of course, that can emerge stronger and weather any storm. Now, our event did more than just convene, right? It strived to foster a robust community. Now, this community comprising of entrepreneurs, investors, community leaders, and industry pioneers, and as well as thought and practice leaders who are united by a shared dedication to nurturing an conducive environment for an entrepreneurial excellence. And of course, together we strived to craft a brighter future, one where entrepreneurs not only survive but thrive in the ever-evolving landscape. And of course, now, in a world where uncertainty becomes certainty, resilience now becomes our most valuable asset. We believe that by focusing on resilience, by investing in skills and mindsets needed for entrepreneurs to face adversity, we can, of course, chart towards a brighter, more prosperous future. So throughout the festival, we shared, we grew, we expanded, we highlighted the power of a community, and we had an amazing, impactful speakers who came onto the platform to really share the spotlight and really look into the challenges and opportunities that lie within each and every single sector. But of course, that is done, and now we're focusing on what is to happen, which is the Circular Economy Hackathon. And first and foremost, I want to welcome all of you to the opening ceremony. I am your host, Karabo Mohole. Please don't forget to hashtag CEHack 2023, also hashtag Circular Innovators. Now, the Circular Economy Hackathon is an immersive and collaborative event aimed at harnessing the collective creativity of participants to address pressing challenges in the sustainable resource management. Now, throughout the hackathon, teams will converge to ideate and develop innovative solutions that promote circularity, waste reduction, and responsible use for resources within diverse industries. Now, from reimagining products lifecycle to devising systems for repurposing and recycling materials, the hackathon encourages interdisciplinary collaboration, inviting entrepreneurs, designers, engineers, and also sustainability enthusiasts to co-create a transformative initiative that aligns with the principles of a circular economy. Now, through this dynamic event, participants will not only showcase their problem-solving skills, but also contribute to a more sustainable and resilient future. Now, of course, the theme for this year's hackathon is Pathways to Circular Futures. Now, the Circular Economy Hackathon will have a specialized track where participants get to envision and have a prototype of initiative strategies leading to a more sustainable and more circular futures. Now, this segment of the hackathon emphasizes on the development of a comprehensive approach and systematic solution across various industries, encouraging participants to think beyond individual products and as well as processes, whether exploring circular design principles, waste reduction strategies, or advocating for policy changes. The goal is to foster a holistic understanding of how diverse pathways can converge and also to shape a circular economy. Now, participants will have the opportunity to collaborate, to ideate, and also to showcase the ideas that pave the way for opportunity where resources are optimized and waste is minimized, and also industries operate in a more harmonious, as well as principles for sustainability and circularity. Now, through this track, the Circular Economy Hackathon aims to inspire actionable insights and also contribute to a broader global transition towards circular and regenerative practices. I'd like to welcome all of you to this beautiful session, but without any further ado, allow me to welcome Mr. Lucky Litero, the Executive Chairman for the ICRD Group, for the welcoming and introduction, as well as opening up the hackathon. Mr. Lucky Litero. All right, we're just waiting for Mr. Lucky Litero just to be on the platform. Oh, there he is.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Karabo, for that amazing introduction, and greetings to our esteemed guests, greetings to our patrons, greetings to everybody basically who's joining us in this incredible moment, a moment we've been waiting for. I am joining you basically in a very old part of the city of Johannesburg in Newtown. Newtown was established in 1903, and by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. And today, basically, I'm so delighted that we're ushering in a new era of entrepreneurs who think out of the box, entrepreneurs who will ensure that we can actually create pathways to sustainable prosperity, pathways that can enable job creation that we so urgently need, but in a more equitable, more sustainable, and allow us to actually build the Africa that we want. We cannot do it alone. Collaboration is at the heart of what we do. And this work would not have been possible without amazing patrons like the Department of Science and Innovation, UNICEF, UNDP, Accenture, and many other stakeholders actually who've been at the forefront. Green Matter, WISA, demonstrating the power of creative collaboration. So I just want to take this moment to say, we at Imvelisi Enviropreneurs program, we believe that, the early stages of business development, the ideation part is absolutely critical. And that part requires stakeholders to help young people to ideate and to face the right direction. Because one of the biggest challenges that we've seen is that, a lot of work in the entrepreneurship ecosystem happens at the late stages of, the journey, but very, few activities happen in the early stages of development, the ideation process. And hence we are here. We exist to ensure that we can curate platforms like these, to ensure that young people can be supported, we can hold their hands as they usher in a new era. And Karabo has said it so beautifully, of circularity. How do we create those pathways that can ensure that no one is ultimately left behind? No one is left behind, whether you're in a rural context, you're in a small town, you're in a city, you're in a township, in every part of this country, and perhaps also the continent. So we're super excited that young people will converge, young people will come here in Johannesburg, in Newtown, to create solutions that really matter, solutions that will ultimately allow us to build businesses, but not only businesses, to ensure that we enable greater livelihood opportunities for people on the ground, and ensure that we move to a sustainable future that we all so need. But who, as Gandhi says, be the change that you want to see in the world. We're saying young people have raised their hands together with amazing stakeholders, to say we will be counted in making the world a better place. So with that said, I just want to say you're welcome to this particular platform, and thank you to all our patrons for curating this exciting, engagement. We've got people joining us from different parts of the world. It's absolutely amazing, and this will be a weekend full of, ideas, support, and as we say here in Africa, it takes a village to raise a child. We are definitely seeing how children, our ideas, our innovations, our young people, our future are being harnessed by amazing thought and practice leaders who are coming together to support them in seeing through this amazing journey. Einstein says, it's actually not Einstein. Einstein says that the value of education is to serve society. We'll be seeing young people using their skills this weekend to serve society. Isaac Newton says, if I've seen further than others, is by sitting on shoulders of giants. And we are indeed sitting on top of on shoulders of amazing giants, UNICEF, UNDP, Accenture, and many other partners, DSI, Green Matter, WISA, Young Water Professionals. Thank you so much for allowing us the privilege to be part of this exciting moment. Karabo and the team, thank you so much for the opportunity. And we're super excited for all the people who will be just, sharing amazing insights, knowledge that will shape and set the tone for what we're about to do. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lucky Ditero. If responsible, we'll give you a round of applause, sir, for obviously having such amazing platforms. Without any further ado, I know for sure that we're running behind time. I'd like to call upon the first keynote speaker, Mr. Toby Fricka, the Chief of Communications at UNICEF, who will be speaking on why do we urgently need to support circular entrepreneurs. Mr. Toby Fricka, are you there, sir?
Well, thank you so much. I am here, and it's a pleasure to be here. We're really excited, myself, but also obviously UNICEF as a team, to be part of this hackathon and this work more broadly. I wouldn't, us as a giant, I don't know. I mean, thank you Lucky for the introduction. I'd say we're here really to support, as best we can. And firstly, I'd like to say thanks to the Department of Science and Innovation, Dr. Mwafe, if he's on the line, Deputy Director General. Thank you so much for the collaboration and the work that we're doing with you as well. And then, of course, Imvalezi, UNDP, our partners, and other UN partners that we work very closely with on environmental issues, climate issues more broadly. And also importantly, just to mention also, very importantly, Accenture, who have provided funding to UNICEF, which has enabled us to then support this project as well, which is very exciting. And this comes through our what we call Generation Unlimited programming, that actually supports the transition of learners into their working lives. So this funding pot particularly speaks to the Generation Unlimited part of our programming. And just to explain that, as UNICEF, it's really an area that we've been strengthening to support children, support learners. When you coming towards that end of your school lives, how can we help to transition into working lives and build the skills, the relevant skills that people need in today's world? Most importantly, of course, let me also welcome, and a pleasure to be with you all out there online somewhere, the young people, the creatives and the innovators who are joining the hackathon. And I can't wait to see what happens at the end of this 48 hours. So why UNICEF? Firstly, let me say again, with DSI, Department of Science and Innovation, we're here really to support and help to implement the Circular Economy program that focuses specifically on sustainable waste management and resource utilization. And this is critical work, towards, as we've already said, towards striving towards a more sustainable future, creating new opportunities for economic growth, and providing those opportunities for youth, for young people to move into relevant work opportunities as well, at the same time as improving sustainability, improving their own climates at a local level. And it's essential that we support this, as UNICEF, as a UN more broadly, to help give youth a chance to gain new critical skills that contribute to a better future, let's say. Embracing entrepreneurship in the green and circular economy. Young people can also innovate and create new business models. And that's what we really need to see, in today's South Africa, in today's world, which is changing so fast, in some ways for the better and in some ways maybe for the worse. But young people like yourselves, children, are the ones, that cliche of children, young people are the future, where you're actually the present. Now, you're the ones who can change things now. And then UNICEF, we're here to try and help support that as much as we possibly can. I think just to say that, UNICEF recently released ahead of COP28, which is happening now, a new sort of sustainability and climate change action plan that looks at better protecting the services that children and young people rely on. Protecting them, meaning that impact of the climate crisis or environmental degradation. How can we better adapt those services to make sure that children and young people are still able to access those services? We're also looking, and importantly, this links very much to the circular economy, is about empowering children and young people through their life course. So not just as young children, but throughout that course, into their adulthood, into working lives, through education, through relevant skills development. And the timing is critical. This weekend, what better timing to have the hackathon, but linked to the opening of COP28 that's happening now in Dubai. And we are working at COP28. We have teams, UNICEF has teams there We have a day next Friday, a week today, as you may know, which is a more of a child youth focused day, looking at education, looking at the skills that children, young people need to support and improve the climate crisis, tackle the climate crisis, let's say, and tackle environmental degradation. What I'd like to say is that, I don't need to say this, but famously, sadly, and I know there's the government are working extremely hard. UNICEF is supporting that, as are UNDP and many others. The unemployment crisis in South Africa, particularly for young people. And I would say we ran what's called a Europort poll. UNICEF did like about 18 months ago, looking at the area of green economy. And we asked the question, how many people thought the green economy could help young people in the future? And what we saw was really positive. About 85% of respondents to that survey said they felt that in some way, to some degree, the green economy could help them to find work in the future. And what that says is that these are young people like yourselves who are on here today, who are creative, who are innovative, who are looking to build your own new skills, to move into, not just move into those jobs, but be the entrepreneurs who create those jobs. And that's what's so exciting. That's what's really, really exciting about this coming 48 hours as well. And it speaks to our learning to earning transition work under Generation Unlimited. And it speaks to the broader green economy interventions that UNICEF and many, many others, the government, support. Both online challenges, for example, but also on the ground practical work. And when I say that, I refer to the EnviroChamps program as well that UNICEF has been a part of with DSI and with others. And I've myself been to Mpofomeni, apologies if that's pronounced wrong, in KZN to see this work firsthand, where I spent a couple of days with young EnviroChamps who were going out to monitor the water bodies in the township to see the levels of pollution and report that back to their relevant ward councillors, and doing that work, which was incredibly impressive. It has an education angle, it has a practical on the ground angle, and it has an advocacy and building collaboration, both with authorities, let's say, but also with the community, bringing the community together to see what are the issues and how can we work together to try and improve the environment at that very local level, which is critical, combined with obviously the higher level policy work that's particularly that we be seeing going on now at COP28 as well, with the South African government delegation, really they're in force as well and doing what they can to shape that. And so I think all of this speaks to let's say an exciting ecosystem that is driven by children and young people. At the heart of this crisis, you are the ones who will, as we say, inherit the planet. But you'll also shape that planet. And that's why this hackathon is part of it. It's so exciting to see the ideas that you'll be working together to create. And that's what I'm UNICEF and all of us can't wait to see, particularly on Sunday when that all comes together. So it's about collaboration. It's about inclusion, including everyone in this as much as you can, bringing those minds together to develop the best ideas possible. And I know you'll do that much better than someone like I can. You're the ones who can innovate. You're the ones with creative ideas and can really bring it all together. Some people say, I never like this expression, but some people used to say the process is as important as the end. But like more recently, I've begun to think in some ways it is, because when you look at a process, that collaboration means the end product is so much better. And I think that's what we're going to see over the next 48 hours. So keep going, stay awake if you can, don't drink too much coffee. I'm sure it'll be a tough 48 hours, but we can't wait to see the solutions, the ideas at the end. And you are the enviropreneurs, the champions of sustainable development. So thanks so much for having UNICEF as part of this program. And we're really excited to see what comes out shortly. Thanks so much to Imvelezi. Thanks so much to everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toby Fricka, and obviously on behalf of UNICEF, it's really a privilege to have you guys on board. Now, without any further ado, we have another keynote speaker from Dr. Mboneni Mlaupe, Deputy Director General for Socio-Economic Innovation Partnership at the Department of Science and Innovation in South Africa. He'll be giving us a keynote on pathways to circular futures for young innovators in South Africa. How are you, Doctor?
Thanks very much, Karabo. I'm doing okay, and you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you, sir. I'm good.
You do look good and you sound good as well. So thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Now, thanks very much for this opportunity. I think a lot of the pillars of what I want to say have been mentioned by Toby. And this for me is very exciting time we live in. The Department of Science and Innovation, as you know, one of the biggest, I think, supporters and really torchbearers for these particular initiatives, is that we have in our own focus for the next 10 years looked at the issue of circular economy as one of the key pillars of what we're going to do. And the reason why we're doing this is because much as a lot of people, when you talk about secularization, they think about something you do just for fun or to look good. But the reality is that the circular economy is the economy. It is life. It is livelihood. It is health. And it actually is legacy. Unless we really commit ourselves to secularization of the economy, we are basically going to leave a very bad legacy. And I think this is really one thing that we need to really look at. And on the other hand, I think ignoring the circular economy also means that we are closing out a whole lot of opportunities, especially for young people. And I think Toby puts it very well when he says, we've got a crisis of unemployment. But on the one hand, we also need to look at what does this crisis create for us in the way of opportunities, so that we can then begin to go into these opportunities and make sure that they work for us. So when I was really invited to come and talk tonight, looking at what's going to be happening from today through Sunday, I was quite excited that I think as much as I'm excited about the actual process itself, like Toby, I can't wait to see the actual outcome of this whole engagement. And for me, it is because the ideas that are going to be discussed and ultimately judged and so on and so forth, they are ideas that are going to take us forward as a country. Some of them may actually come out not as ideas that have won the day, but I do want to say that the ideas about secularization, all of them would have won us a day as a country and as a continent. We currently are having to make sure that we move away from this linearization in the economy and really look at the value of secularization. And when we look at what we can do, we begin to see that for so long, I think we have actually ignored the gold mine in the secularization of our economy. And it really is, in my view, up to the teams that are going to be going over through this hackathon to come and unearth a few of those gold that we need to really get out of the minds of exciting and intelligent young people. And we can really begin to take this forward. I would like to see, and I know that we've got a couple of good examples of successful entrepreneurs that have come through this and other processes. There was mention made, for example, about EnviroChamps and the role that they are playing in making sure that our rivers are clean. And this is really one very critical thing. We don't appreciate the fact that we have so much contaminated our rivers that in South Africa we basically are having to drink water that comes from Lesotho. So when we have our own rivers, why can't we make sure that they are protected in order to feed us? So the big question that we need to ask ourselves is, as we go about living the life that we want to live or the life that we have ever dreamt to live, how do we make sure that we are going to be responsible? And one day, when you and I hand over this country, this continent, and this world to our children and their children, we can proudly say we have played our role in making sure that as we live, as we go about doing our business every day, we have also ensured that when we hand over to you, we are handing you the earth that is worth living at, the earth that is worth, and it is still going to be producing for you. Because one of the biggest things that we don't realize is that the impact of our non-secularized economy is that even the land that gives us the food that we are eating today is getting so contaminated that at some point, some of the places are beginning to become unsuitable for producing food. So ultimately, we are slowly but surely working ourselves and our children outside of this world. And a responsible thing to do now is, how do we then, with a generation of the Imvelicy hackathon teams and participants, begin to turn some of these things around, bit by bit, but the impact grows. As long as the noise is being made in all global platforms, when we do what we need to do, when people go to COP and they commit and they actually do what they've committed to do, ultimately, we are going to make things work. And the advantage of the teams that are going to be participating in the hackathon is that you guys have got a stake in the communities that we live in. So you've got that much responsibilities. You can see what is happening in our communities. You can see what opportunities are there, but you can see how much damage we are causing as humanity in the very same environments that we're living in. Hence, when you come with solutions, they are also context sensitive. And they actually mean that you only are not thinking about them, but you're thinking also about yourself as you bring the solutions. So I really want to say to everyone who's involved, you have really taken a very good decision. It's a very responsible thing to do, but it also is a huge opportunity for our young people. We want to create young people that are going to be entrepreneurs, who are going to create opportunities for others, but also show the way in terms of what we mean when we say we've got young people that are going to renew not only this economy, but they are going to renew how Africa is seen and how Africa actually conducts its business. So I look forward to getting an update on what's going to be happening up until Sunday. All the very best. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Mboneni. Really appreciate your words of wisdom and your encouragement. All right, so without any further ado, allow us to zone in into a little bit of impact stories from an amazing gentleman called Patucheto Mdau, who's the CEO of Zipatu Green Tech. And he'll be speaking about how he transformed his grassroots innovation into a thriving business. But before we speak to him, let's take a look at a video that he has to showcase for us.
My name is Mudau Patuchezo. I'm the founder and managing director of the Patuchezo Green Surfacing. That I'm also part of Bembe Biosphere Reserve Youth Network. The Patuchezo Green Surfacing is a startup company which was started in 2019, and it focuses on collecting waste plastics and waste biomass. Currently, we are focusing on making biochar-based energy source, which is a Ashamuriro eco briquettes. The eco briquettes are made from waste biomass, which is a waste sawdust which we collect from the sawmills, and also the wood char and the ashes which we collect from the schools. Our local schools, they use wood fire to prepare meals for our students. So the byproduct is wood char and the ashes. We then process them into useful and valuable material, which is an eco briquettes, ashamuliro, and also we further process it into a biochar-based fertilizer for soil application. These eco briquettes, they do not produce smoke, they do not produce sparks, they last for almost 3 hours. They are used for cooking and for burning, and you can use them for heating as an alternative source for wood. When you use these eco briquettes, it means that you are supporting the environment, because charcoal briquettes is the mitigation measure for climate change. We are also creating jobs with this initiative, where we have managed to employ 11 youth, where we are capacitating them, giving them skills so that they can be able to replicate this idea into other areas where people are facing the challenges of deforestation. But as we are saying that stop cutting the trees, use the waste that are available out there. So my message to young people out there is that innovation does not require any degrees. We have to start small, look at the challenges and come up with the solution. Just like us at Zipato Grid Surfacing, you can also become a solution where you live. We also recycle waste plastic which sits on our landfill to process them into useful and valuable products like paving bricks.
All right, so that was a video from Patuchedzo Madawu. Without any further ado, I'll also welcome Mr. Patuchedzo. How are you, brother?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, man. Look. First and foremost, before you speak about your business, look, I know for sure that you are doing, incredible work, within the industry, and obviously, you have just been awarded. I know you're humble. We probably want to speak about it, but let's speak about the recognition that you're receiving, the award that you just received, and also you traveling the world, just purely off the business idea that you conceptualized. Let's speak about that, brother, man. How's that so far?
Oh, for now, I just received the award from the South African National Park. We're partnering with the Total Energy and FNB. So the award was on the category of innovation. They were recognizing the work that my company is doing on innovation and also creating jobs for young people. So in terms of traveling, yes, I was in Rwanda last month. I'm in the beginning of this month. Last month is November, yeah, last month. So I was there in Rwanda. I was invited by the UNDP Global. We are attending a workshop of plastic behavior change, where we were trying to engage with other young people on how we can change people's mindset when it comes to innovation and also plastic waste, so that people can see that waste as a resource. So yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, so that's what was happening, and yeah, just to also showcase the work that we're doing to inspire other young people. Yeah.
Look, man, Patuchedzo, you are doing an incredible job, man. Look, honestly, you are an inspiration. Keep pushing, keep thriving. I know for sure, without any further ado, you have a presentation that you're going to be taking us through, looking at how you transformed your business into a thriving, business. So without any further ado, take us through your presentation, brother, man.
Yeah, so about that question, the most important thing for us is to empower other young people, and also the main aim of this initiative is to free the environment from waste material which cannot be effectively recycled. Like the waste that we are collecting is biomass waste, and also the plastic waste. So what keeps us standing is that we are partnering with people who are willing to help, and also they are making sure that young people are getting assistance that is needed for them to grow. I'm talking like stakeholders like Invelis. I think the work that they are doing and also the assistance that they are giving us is what keeps us going, because whenever we feel like, hey, we are not going there or we are not doing good, we find that they advise us, they give us assistance in terms of financial and also incubations. So I mean, that other thing that keep us going, because you understand that it's not easy to start, and it's not easy also to continue in this industry of business or a circular economy, but with other people who are helping you, it becomes easy. And also being innovative as a team, we always research, we always come up with new a solution, developing a environmental friendly solution which will save energy, save money in the terms of production, and also when we go to selling. So those are the things that they keep us going. So I just want to also take you through what we've achieved so far as an organization. Is that this year only 2023 we have collected more than 23 tons of plastic waste, and we've converted that 23 tons of plastic waste into 30,000 bricks for building and paving. So we have taken 25 tons of plastic, which could have otherwise ended polluting the environment, and we know most of it is washed to the sea. in terms of biomass, we have collected 5 tons of biomass from the schools and from the industries. Those biomass, most of people or most of industries, they just produce those waste. They don't know where to dispose it. So we take that 5 tons of biomass and we process into 4,000 bags or 4 kgs of charcoal briquettes, which now people are using it to burn, to cook, and also to heat, instead of using firewood, which has lots of disadvantages in our environment and also the people. So this organization has now, in this year, we have employed more than 15. You can hear that on the video. We said 11, but that was before. Now we have 15 young people, which now we know that they will in the street doing nothing. Now they're getting this experience of waste management and also being exposed to other opportunities that are out there, which we are also being exposed as a company. So other thing that we do, we also train other young people to process waste so that they can do other products. If you find that they are doing things which for them, maybe it's taking time for them to make revenue. So for us, we also assist them to make a product using waste material so that they can start making money. So that's what exactly we are doing currently, and that's what I think for us is what keep us going. It's what keep us trying to be in the game, like for a long time and doing good. And also all these awards and nominations and also the recognitions, this invites to be part of this type of initiative. They also give us that motivation that, oh, you know what, as a team we are doing good. That is why you are also getting calls from different people to participate and also to share the story that we have created with the company that we have. So that's all that I have for today. I'm also looking forward to be part of this initiative this weekend. I will be sharing our ideas with other young people, and I'm so proud and honored to be part of this initiative. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Patu Cheto. It's really a privilege to have you on this space. All right, so right now we're about to move on to words of support from our partners, and I'm about to call upon Kumbuzile Zuma, who's with UNICEF. Kumbuzile, are you there?
I am there. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm very well and excited about this hackathon, and it's really exciting for UNICEF for sure. As you know, we're fully supporting you behind the youth and all the projects that you are and innovations that you're working on. I mean, as if I could just get to it and really motivate the youth. I think, you know, the excitement for UNICEF, as you know, the focus is really on youth as well as children, and therefore the beginning of this event today marks, for us marks our celebration to showcase what youth is capable of doing, and to strongly emphasize that we do support green initiatives coming from youth, because the youth, I think, for me, I always say the youth is current, but the future as well. We cannot say the future because they live now, and we need these innovative ideas from youth now more than ever. And I think, coming from the water sector myself, I'm really excited to find out what the ideas are from youth and what the youth is working on. And as we know, you are really, as youth, are capable of coming up with ideas that can solve problems such as water crisis in South Africa. This is a crisis. So if I know that the ideas out there, coming up with them, and just coming up with technologies where we will know that through your support, through your innovations, you are really just contributing to a bigger picture of the country, but not just South Africa, because as we know, we have transboundaries. The solutions that you may come up with here in South Africa, as youth that live in South Africa, and just all the youth that lives in South Africa currently coming up with these ideas may support even countries in SADC or in other, neighboring countries, really. So I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing what you have and what you can show us, what we can learn from you, and that these ideas, they become, job opportunities or economic opportunities for you, where they, even if they are, they are starting maybe small, but they can become bigger, and they will emphasize on the sustainability of resources that are really limited for the African continent. So I'm excited and looking forward to seeing what you've got over.
Kumzile, I really do appreciate your words of encouragement. All right, so for more words of support, allow me to welcome Simone Smith, who's with the UNDP. Simone?
Afternoon, Karabo. Can you hear me?
How are you? Yes, I can
hear you.
Good.
How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
It's a pleasure. Without any further ado, you can go for it.
Thanks so much. So I'd like to start by saying thank you to our partners in Mvelisi for making this incredible initiative possible, and to UNICEF and Accenture for their support as well in making this possible, and to the DDG for being here today and for his inspirational words. UNDP is so proud to be part of this initiative. To our youth participants on this hackathon, I'd like to say thank you for your commitment to creating a sustainable future. In the circular economy, every challenge is an opportunity just waiting to be seized. And as you embark on the adventure that this hackathon will be, remember that every idea, no matter how small it may seem in the beginning, has the potential to create enormous impact for both our environment and our society. This hackathon it's not just about finding the solutions. It's also about testing the status quo and pushing boundaries, questioning, and really daring to dream of a future where sustainability is at the core of all that we do. Your dedication and passion can spark a ripple effect to inspire others to come together to create a sustainable future. So I'd just like to say, believe in your ideas, trust your abilities, and support each other as you go through this experience. I will be seeing you all on Sunday, but until then, I would like to wish you the best of luck, and may your ideas flourish into impactful solutions.
All right, thank you so much, Simone Smith. All right, so without any further ado, this is the moment now where we transition now into the panel discussion, where we'll be zoning in at, is the South African circular economy ecosystem conducive for young innovators to build sustainable enterprises as well as livelihoods? Now, this panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Ashton Mpofu, the board member for WISA, Water Institute for Southern Africa. And we have panelists, Ms. Babalwa Nketswa, the Executive Director for Young Eastern Cape Development of Social Development. Also, Dr. Brian Mubiwa, the Managing Director at B2M Consulting. We're also joined by Kumzile Zuma, who's with UNICEF, WASH Specialist and Climate Focal Point. Dr. Ashton Mpofu, are you there, sir? All right, so Dr. Ashton, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can clearly hear you. How are you doing, sir?
Okay, fantastic. No, thank you. A bit of a technical glitch right there, but I'm here. Thank you for the kind welcome, and thank you to the previous speakers as well. I think we had a really good insights, and words of wisdom from our previous speakers. So my role is a simple one today. I'd like to welcome my panelists. I think Karabo has already done the job for me. So as they come through one by one, okay, I think Kumbi is here and Babola is here. I would like to maybe open the floor by posing the question so that the panelists can at least give their opening remarks to the topic of the day. So the discussion that we'd like to have is to delve into answering whether the South African circular economy ecosystem is conducive for young innovators to build sustainable enterprise and livelihoods. I mean, we heard from Patu we know that it wasn't a walk in the park. He had to undergo, some challenges here and there, though he didn't mention, but I'm sure that as innovators, we all know that we need to overcome a lot of obstacles on our way in order to make it. So, I mean, you're solving problems, but you face problems as well. So it's good to take a problem, convert it into a solution, and also convert it into an aspect of job creation. So yeah, I think let me maybe invite, Babala, if you're ready for me, to just speak into the topic of today. Is our South African, circular economy ecosystem, conducive, for young innovators? What's your thought on this topic? Over to you, Babala.
Thank you so much. Good day, everybody. In terms of trying to answer those questions, I think I'll take it from like 3 areas. So I come from government. So in terms of we'll probably cover government policies and the funding opportunities, and would also have to look at the support networks to enable these young innovators to build sustainable businesses. And I guess from a government policy, because the kind of policies that are created obviously dictate the kind of environment that is created for access as well as implementation and growth. And the funding opportunities that are available are obviously also very critical to ensure that the innovators businesses are growing and they're sustainable, particularly the fact that majority of our population is the population that is at the bottom of the economic pyramid. And so based on that factor, it becomes a major part in terms of how we answer that question. And then also in terms of just the support networks in these 3 areas that I would talk about in answering this question, the support networks become very important based on the frames of references of the majority of the people that are at the bottom of the pyramid. And this is very important so that in our solutions, we have to integrate almost like a hand-holding approach towards achieving the sustainability and growth. And so there are obviously a few advantages and disadvantages, especially when it comes to the kind of government policies that we have. And we find that in the country, some of our policies include the support interventions and towards young innovators that basically look into fostering economic growth, creating jobs, as well as technological advancements. So they are there, and these policies that address these issues can definitely be able to lead to a vibrant startup ecosystem and attract investments and talent. So we do have that. However, whilst we also do have that, were challenges that can arise, such as the potential bureaucratic hurdles within the government systems, as well as the insufficient funding and the need for effective implementation. So, for example, if the hackers are now developing a solution that can potentially assist in remote areas with like access to services or access to market or information, that can possibly alleviate poverty or inequality amongst other challenges, but you still have hindering problems which become access to connectivity, for example, in the form of infrastructure, as well as the cost of the access to actually implement that solution. And so as from a government policy point of view, balancing the government support interventions for innovation then requires addressing like a broader economic and social issues to enable the long-term sustainability. And when we look at it from a funding opportunities point of view, we would then look at also the how funding enables fostering economic growth and the accessibility to that funding, and looking at the frames of references and the disadvantages, and also how to encourage technological advancements in those funding opportunities. But even in these cases, we've got challenges that still arise, the potential inequalities in access to the funding based on frames of references, as well as the bureaucratic hurdles again, and basically just the need of sustained support to ensure long-term sustainability. And so I think in trying to answer that question of sustainability at the bottom, we would then try and look at also the support networks in terms of how do we leverage social capital or building the social capital thereof. And I think things like this hackathon help in that regard to merge both the old and the young, as the young are very creative and the old have got wisdom in terms of the basic principles that are required to build. Because obviously young people grow up accustomed to technology, whilst the older generation really didn't, but they had to build physically in order for them to be able to grow and sustain. So technology has brought about the opportunity to be able to utilize creativity as almost like an integrating backbone for both creative ways of doing things, as well as ensuring that basic principles are in place. So basically, entrepreneurs are people who solve problems, and integrating old principles and new ways of doing things will definitely see us achieving a sense of community almost quite significantly. And so in order for us to be able to create this creative, conducive environment, both the actors in terms of government, which is the public sector, as well as the private sector, would need to maintain relevancy in how we do things. And for us to be able to do this, we need to place innovation very high in our agendas. And we obviously need to increase our levels of collaboration to ensure that we meet this goal of creating a conducive environment for these innovators.
Sorry to interject there. Thank you. I think you're moving on to the part B of our discussion now, the solutions, but it's fine. Let me hold you right there. I'll bring you again soon. Let me invite Kumbi as well, maybe to, give your opening remarks, to the topic of the day. Is our circular economy ecosystem, conducive, to ensure that we have these entrepreneurs thriving, and also, looking into developing the economy and improving our livelihoods? What's your thought there, Ma'am Sholas?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ashton. I think personally, I feel like, coming from the environmental water sector perspective, for instance, I think in South Africa currently we are facing all of these issues, as I said in my motivational sort of brief. So I think, we're facing issues of environmental degradation, we're facing issues of stressed energy or electricity, but we also generally have, areas where some of our innovations and technology are really cannot withstand the disasters and what we are currently facing as a result of climate change. So I think if you look at those, and if you look at the fact that actually our youth is capable, as I was saying, and have the qualifications, and some of them having really qualified and have skills, but some of them being very hungry to actually learn. So I think for me, we have a big scope where youth can just, be able to come into the economy and just build, but coming up with new now innovations that we're really going to see that we should have. This is how we should have done things before, instead of how we are taking things as if it's normal. So they will turn things around, and the way I see it is that they will open, they are opening eyes of many, including myself. So I think if you look at it, then the issue, obviously, the catch becomes the accessing funding, being able to collaborate with others and identifying others that already have the skills, because then the catch is if you come up with an innovation, it might be that it's already out there. So you need to identify who else is working with you and whether you could form some kind of cooperatives and things like that. But I think the scope is big. It is waiting for the youth to come on board and be supported. Obviously, there are organizations, such as UNICEF and others, who are really keen to take the youth on board and support, through the various programs where we could groom youth that doesn't have opportunities, but also hold their hands so that they can see where opportunities are. So I think for me, the ground is really ready and fertile for youth. Over.
Thank you, Mazuma. I think you've really touched on a number of factors, that Wabula did touch on earlier on. I think you two are both speaking exactly to the to the topic, and I'm happy that you seem to be well versed with the local context in South Africa. Where the challenges are and where do we think we must go. Maybe Babalo, you're left alone now. Let me ask you now to come to the solution part. I mean, you had already begun to give us, things that we need to do. Yes, recognizing that there are challenges, but already started to say, yes, funding is there, but there's a big need that we ensure that there's inclusivity. I'm sure UNICEF as well know, inclusivity and gender equality it forms a very big part when it comes to the approach of the work that is done by government and UNICEF as well. So to you, Babola, now, how do we ensure? I mean, we had part two earlier on saying that you don't need to have a degree. Anyone who is seated with a problem can come up with a solution. So I'm coming from an angle of saying, let's imagine, our youth that are stuck in the rural areas, that particular young girl or young boy that is whether in informal settlements or you're stuck in deep rural areas. So how can we ensure that they access these opportunities? What are we doing as government or as the private sector? Because we did speak about collaboration and partnership. So how do we ensure that these opportunities can go as far as reach? Nomakamfana, Mfundo, stuck in the rural areas there in the Eastern Cape. So how do you ensure that? What's your thought? And what do you think should be done?
Okay, thank you for that. That's quite hectic. So my thoughts are that in order for us to be able to reach the rurals, when we are actually trying to solve the solutions, we must obviously have the end in mind. And as I said before, that the funds are available, but also what tends to happen is that even as the actors who actually do have the funds, you find that our interventions are directed towards the same goal. However, we're operating in our own different silos, even though we've got this new policies of the IDRs that have been formed to integrate the government's operations. But there's still quite a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of collaborating, because if we were to collaborate in that aspect from a government point of view, but also from a private sector point of view in how we fund, then I think we would be able to achieve a bit more, right? And I work for social development. My background is in infrastructure. So I was in infrastructure for quite long. And so my understanding is that when you're trying to build, right, a system that enables growth, we from a social development point of view, it's almost like if I make an example of the infrastructure space, when you are building a house for the people who are in the rurals, right? The process of development, it's almost like the social aspect has been left out in the development aspect. So it's things that we need to look at, because if we must look at the beneficiary from the beneficiary point of view, how do they then become included in the value chain of developing a house for them, for looking at someone who does not have a house? And so as government, we then have to look at those aspects. We have to look at the policies. What are they saying, and how can we leverage off them to be able to make sure that the beneficiary forms part of building their house? And so if we must talk about rurals, when you're having to build houses in rurals, etc., or depending on how the poverty-stricken ones are, you obviously have to look at access to those rurals in order to make sure that the rural is a place that enables livability and work, as well as creating or stimulating some sort of economic activity. So when you are building, we almost have to then look at solutions that talk to placing the beneficiary at the center. Like those examples, you look at how the rural landscape is. Rural is rural. It would not necessarily be the same as urban, but how do you leverage off it being rural and having those rural aesthetics? So in terms of building, so you look at the kind of material that is utilized in building, so that we can see, like for example, in the olden days, you have stone that they used to build with stone. They thatch and all of those things. And you find that in the urban areas, you do have stone houses and thatch, etc. But the aesthetic feel of it becomes different. So the architectural part becomes a critical aspect. And also from a local economic development part, how do you utilize local material, etc., in order for you to be able to build such that you can have an early childhood development center, and we do not have to wait for probably 5 years before the Department of Public Works builds a road so that you can go and build a center. So that can then enable a child who would not ordinarily have access to an education to then potentially have access to an education, because you've got unemployed graduates that actually come from these places. And you might find that if you then look at how do we efficiently utilize resources where they are at, we can then look at even utilizing those resources to actually assist in creating those little economies. And one of the other things is that you find that when you talk about rural, you talk about it from a point of, we talk about it from a point of rural being a dead capital point of place because of how the property in the rural is registered and recorded. And that means that you are, from the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, it becomes difficult to unlock that dead capital because of the systems that are required to unlock it. However, when you are in a different setting in urban, it becomes easier to leverage of property that is there because of how it is registered. So now we need to come up with creative ways of unlocking the dead capital in the rural, utilizing the resources, unemployed graduates, because government puts in interventions to put children to schools so that they can become graduates, etc. And we're enhancing opportunities of creating growth and educating these people. But when they come back, because we don't have a pathway of hand holding them to take them on to the next place, or perhaps creating like routes for post-school, we don't really have much exit strategy plans that are in place to enable to look at the environment for where it is and the resources that come from there, and how do we really use those resources to develop those areas, utilizing the resources that are there to be able to just stimulate the economy from where it is, utilizing the policies that we have. Because if we must talk about supply chain, for example, and the policies that are there for local economic development, that needs to go beyond just the address of the location, but it needs to then look at the value chain of what the local economic development means and who the beneficiaries are in terms of that. And I think that's a space that government needs to really, really place a focus on as well, in terms of unpacking the value chain, and innovations such as hackathons and whatnot then enable those kind of solutions to come about. Because at the end of the day, if you look at a basic principle of creating a house, it's still a house. You need a roof over your head. How you build that house matters, and how you innovate a solution for that house then becomes a critical aspect. And so for me, understanding that innovation is not just technology, but it's redefining processes as well, and business re-engineering, so that you can actually meet the end goal, becomes a critical part. And I think people who are trying to solve problems, who are troubleshooting to find those solutions, need to then understand the end in mind and unpack, including government, because then if our idea and our mandate is to assist people, we all have to come together in the different spaces so that we really, really address the impact, but at the same time include the society in the economic development activity. So I don't know if I've tried to sum it up, but
thank you for the sentiments on that. I think you really touching the critical areas, and the things that needs to be done and what we should be doing. Maybe at the moment it's not enough, but we'll get there, keeping up with the positive spirit. Maybe let me move on to Mazuma now. There's no better organization, not for profit, that will or that does collaboration partnership like UNICEF for the UN as a whole. You work with government, with Babala as well. You work with the private sector, and you implement a number of things specifically for the children. So I just want to pose it to you to ask, what can we do to ensure that no one is left behind? I'm talking about, the girl child specifically now. I said to Babala, let's speak general, but now speaking about the girl child. And those that are, at the bottom of our pyramid, that are the ones that are really suffering most in terms of the socio-economic conditions of our country. We know what we are faced with as a country. So what is UNICEF doing, or what kind of collaborations do you think can be fostered to ensure that, you know, the little ones tomorrow they've got a very, you know, bright future, you know? So what can we do, you know, as organizations?
I think it's thanks for that that question. I think it's really, really critical, as you are saying, the girl child remains behind, and I think I mean that's how the society is. But from UNICEF point of view, we're really about balancing, or sort of trying to reach out, not necessarily only to the girls, but also, you know, just making sure that every child growing in South Africa is aware of the fact that they are as important as any other child, whether they are a girl, it's a girl, or a child with, you know, who has all the limbs or who's intelligent, but the girl or the boy as well that has a disability is as important. And I think that is why, from the UNICEF point of view, we then take a comprehensive approach to say, when we are tackling issues that affect children, we will want to make sure that, first of all, we tackle the issues to support a child that's also with disabilities. And I think the innovations in this case, therefore, are for every child, any child, whether the child is in a rural setting, in an urban setting, in a humanitarian setting, because, I mean, this is where then I am mentioning these settings because I want to highlight that for any youth that is embarking on innovative ideas and innovative projects, they need to be looking at all these settings, because settings are different. You do not just look at what is facing you today, which is in a development setting where you are still going to take time and be thinking about, oh, maybe I should come up with a water kiosk in a rural setting of KwaZulu-Natal, somewhere deep rural, rather than thinking about what you could do. For instance, if there is there's flooding happening in a particular area, not necessarily where you were expecting the floods to happen, but to always know that now climate has arrived, and therefore whether you are in that deep rural area or you are in an urban area, the climate, it just hits everywhere. So I think for us, it's about educating, and therefore we're educating all the children, creating awareness to them, to alert them of what opportunities are available for them. And as you rightly say, Ashton, we do interact with various stakeholders, whether it's government, private sector, other UN agencies, but also civil societies in South Africa. We are able to tap into what are the challenges that are facing every child in South Africa. And therefore, for us, it's important that every child, wherever they are located, in whatever state they are in, whether they have a disability, they need to take these innovations seriously, and they need to have allocated for them specifically, and I'm talking about children that have disabilities now, that they need to also participate in such events, and that we need to cater for them. And within the UN system, we create mechanisms, and I think we're going to get there, where we are creating mechanisms where they can access such events and be sitting here and also participating, and also maybe becoming speakers one day, or mentors even. So, and I mean, as I speak to you, we are opening various opportunities for youth, but youth with disabilities as well, and emphasizing that when in water, and saying they must come up with innovations around how to reuse water, how to recycle, how to look at energy, what innovations will they come up with. So I think for us, we are here to support at whatever level in the process, because we do acknowledge that challenges are faced in every situation. For any projects, for any business, you face challenges, and therefore we are here waiting to be receiving and to be hearing from youth what they are keen to do and what are they going to do about the climate, including the youth with disabilities, including the girl child, a girl child that might even have disabilities. So they might be even more, sidelined because they have, they find themselves in that situation. But I think, so generally, the youth need to be looking at the fact that as rural settings are, going back to your question now that you asked Babala as well, it's to say as the rural settings are getting developed, whatever development means for you. But I'm not just talking about the roads, putting a road in the middle of a rural village, but just, developed and having malls, having schools, building new schools, new hospitals, new anything that you can find in the urban areas. Youth in the rural settings and girls in the rural settings, they also need to be thinking about what role can they play in these settings, because there is a role for them. And I think it's about them really making sure that their skills, their innovations are being seen, whether they are approaching the government, whom I believe they are ready. The government of South Africa is ready. Just as I was listening today, it was an national, just to commemorate disasters that have happened in South Africa. You could see just the scope of various technologies that people are coming up with. And I was thinking to myself, where is our youth here? It doesn't, and I'm not referring to the youth of South that are classified as South Africans, but I'm referring to the youth that live in South Africa, that they need to be part of this process, contributing to this green economy and coming up with all these ideas. So because we know that through youth, in whatever state they are in, we are responding to unemployment, we are responding to displacement of youth, because as we know, some of the youth are not necessarily in South Africa because they want to be, but it's the situations of where they find themselves in their countries, and therefore they need to have a space as well in this, in this whole journey. So I'm just saying, for us, we are open to support youth in general, and we will always be here. Over.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kumbu and Babala, for joining me on the panel today. I mean, there's a lot that we can discuss. There's a lot that we can talk about. I know that you guys are full of solutions, and you certainly know what needs to be done. But unfortunately, only 30 minutes for this panel discussion. I hope that we will take up, these conversations to another platform some other time and begin to dissect, more solutions, and how can we bring forward, the youth and in the circular economy space, and afford them the opportunity to create these, social enterprises and, create jobs for the continent or for the country, and also, to grow, our economies. The NDP speaks directly into SMMEs being the vehicle or the catalyst to grow our economy. So thank you so much to the two of you for joining me, and thank you to the Business Clinic and everyone that has joined us this afternoon. It was indeed great, listening to the insights and the solutions that we have for our country. Thank you for joining us. Cheers.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Ashton Mpofu, and also thank you to all the panelists that were part of the panel discussion. Without any further ado, let's take a look at what the hack, looking at the hackathon itinerary and updates. All right, so first and foremost, we know that for sure that the session will end today at 7. So from 7:05 till 12 midnight, you guys will be going through a hackaway where teams will start working on their solutions. And then from 12 till 6 in the morning, teams will continue to work on their solutions. And from 6 to 8, participants will then travel to the hackathon venue happening right here in Newtown, Saibono, which is that corner of Miriam Makeba and Helen Joseph. And then Saturday at the 2nd of December, from 8 in the morning till 9, it'll be the arrival and registrations, as well as breakfast. And from 9 till 1 p.m. we'll be looking at teams working on their solutions with support from their coaches and their mentors. And then from 1 till 2, there'll be lunch. And then from 2 till 3, there'll be war rooms and coaching sessions facilitated by the Business Clinic and as well as Geek Culture. And then from 3 until 3:30, we'll have the afternoon tea and snacks. And then from 3:30 until 7, we'll have teams continue working on their solutions. All right, now in the evening from 7 until 8, we'll have dinner. And then from 8 until midnight, teams will then prepare for the midnight pitches. And obviously the 3rd of December being a beautiful Sunday morning, from midnight till 1:30 in the morning, we'll then have the midnight pitch sessions. And then from 1:30 until 5 in the morning, teams will then continue to work on their solutions. And obviously on Sunday, the 3rd of December, from 5:30 in the morning till 7:30 in the morning, there will be morning exercises, and of course, participants will get to freshen up. And then from 8 until 9 in the morning will be registration and breakfast. And from 9 until 10:30, we'll look at war rooms and teams working sessions. And then from 10:30 until 11, we'll have a small coffee break. And from 11 until 12, there'll be pitch clinics and coaching sessions with mentors being part of those sessions. And then from 12 until 3, we'll have lunch. And then from 2 until 4, or 2 until 5 to 5, we'll have the hashtag CE Hack 2023 Eagles Ring Investor Pitch and the grand finale. And then from 5 to 5 till 10 past 5, we'll have the prize giving and awards ceremony. And at 10 past 5 until 5:15, we'll have the closing and the vote of thanks. And of course, you guys know that there will be challenges that are in the circular economy. And of course, we're looking for innovative solutions to these challenges in the water, food, and energy waste. All right, cool. So without any further ado, allow me to welcome, or now to open up the space for the CE Hack 2022 Opportunity Zones. Allow me to welcome Camilla Hawks, all the way from Yoma, the HQ manager. Camilla Hawks, are you there?
Yes, hello. Thank you so much.
Hello, Camilla. How are you?
I'm good. Very happy to be part of this. It's like such a great event. I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you here. So obviously, you know for sure that you have an opportunity zone to speak about your work, speak about your business, and we'll give you 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Yes, that's perfect.
All right, sure thing.
Let me just see it. I need to share my screen. So I'll quickly share my screen. You should be able to see it now. Is that correct? Yes, perfect. I can see it. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Today I'm going to talk about YOMA, Youth Agency Marketplace, which is an ecosystem that enables young people to grow and thrive. And I heard a lot of words today that really resonate with what we do, ecosystem, learning pathways, because that's exactly what YOMA is about. YOMA is also a youth-centered initiative, and because we are youth-centered, I thought it would be the best actually to hear from youth themselves what they think about YOMA. And therefore, I am sharing this video with you, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
All right, Camilla. So unfortunately, your video doesn't have sound, Camilla.
No sound?
No, there's no sound at all.
Okay. Yeah, just 1 second. I think.
Okay, cool, no problem.
There we go. It should be working now. Let's see. Does it work? Sorry. I can restart it again. Sorry for that. There we go.
Hello,
it should be working now.
I'm Charlotte Mary.
Hello, good dwellers. My name is Henry.
Hello, good dwellers. I'm Eugene Kaptui, and my team and I have created a video that helps you know more about YOMA in terms of the opportunities and the careers that they have in the platform. So let's go.
YOMA is a youth-centered platform that provides an individual the opportunity to build and transform their future by offering them viable and productive skills, which will help them to unlock their potential and be their best. It's also a platform where you can build your CV and your qualifications by learning and partaking in courses and challenges. And you know the interesting part? YOMA also records your growth on their platform in a digital identity wallet, which can be verified using blockchain. This means that your record, your achievements, and your certifications are forever secure.
Wow, quite impressive. So YOMA makes use of blockchain?
Yes, and there is more. They also offer a digital token called ZLTO, which can be redeemed and spent on Yoma Marketplace on airtime, data, and more. And you know the best part? You can earn this digital token by simply partaking and learning the available courses on the platform, which means as you learn, you earn.
We are gearing on well. We are gearing on well. So, what are some of the skills and opportunities that someone can gain from Yoma?
That's a good question. Yoma offers tech skills in coding, programming, graphic design, and data science, as well as learning opportunities on climate change, leadership, and innovative thinking through their partners. And they also offer internship and job opportunities. Top 2. Who are their partners?
Yoma partners with GLEAC, GIZ, UNICEF, Cisco, Antigone, and Goodwill to bring you the best learning opportunities. And the learning opportunities they offer are free courses and no charges. Some even come with cash prizes. So what are you waiting for? Sign up on Yoma today and explore the world of opportunity. On Yoma, we can.
Okay, well, that's our little introduction video by actually Yoma Youth / Goodwill Youth, but we will hear more about Goodwill later on. So I think when we speak about Yoma, we also need to understand the background of where Yoma actually came from. And I think this problem we all know, we've all heard it several times. Globally, 20% of young people don't gain experience in the labor market. They do not receive income from work. They don't have the opportunities to enhance their education and skills. And in Africa, approximately 2/3 of youth are unemployed. However, these young people are huge unused potential. If we think that there are 1.8 million young people out there in this planet, and 85% of them live in developing countries, and then a lot of them are unemployed, how can we actually tap into that potential, and how can we make youth part of the solution? And that's exactly how Yoma actually came about, because UNICEF, together with a Swiss foundation, Fondation Bodnar, they were asking exactly that question. They got young people from across Africa together in a workshop, at a human-centered design thinking workshop in South Africa. So it actually was born, Yoma was actually born here in South Africa. And asked young people from across Africa, why are you unemployed? What are the issues you are facing? And how can we, build a solution for this? And the young people actually came up with 2 issues. They said that they feel lost. So it's really hard for them to navigate or find a learning pathway that actually leads to earning, that learning to earning pathways. And the second was talent is universal, but opportunities are not. So opportunities are often fragmentalized and only limited to certain demographics. So in a second workshop, they actually started creating prototypes. They created 3 prototypes. 2 of them became Yoma, and Yoma is really catering to those 2 main barriers that the young people identified. So youth feel lost. Okay, so Yoma needs to be able to create learning pathways for youth that eventually lead to earning. And second, talent is universal, opportunities are not. So Yoma needs to give young people digital access or access to opportunities and in an easy manner. And that's really where Yoma came from. And then Yoma, so the important thing is also Yoma is not just the platform, it is really an ecosystem. So we started out with these key core partners, and actually now are working with Accenture, Unilever, Duct, SAP, Cisco, many, many more. Actually, this is not exhaustive. And we're really trying to leverage the solutions of each and every partner and collaborating and offering those solutions and opportunities to the young people. Whereas Yoma now, we have over 350K registered users on Yoma, which is really amazing. So we're really happy about that. When we look at Yoma in South Africa, we have actually quite a lot in the green space. So it's really fitting. Also, thank you so much again for inviting us today that we're here. We also did, we promoted and offered the Circular Innovator Challenge with Goodwill on our platform. We also had launched just recently Crop Observe, which is for young citizen scientists. We actually partnered with Stanford University to get to get young people educated about farming and agriculture and crops. Because when we look at South Africa, the average age of a farmer is 62. So we really know there's a big opportunity there for young people. And then the Biochams project was already mentioned in the beginning, so I won't talk too much about that. Yeah, but in the end, YOMA is open to everyone, and we really encourage every young person to become part of the ecosystem and have a look at our platform. And we're really excited to be part of this, and thank you so much for having us today. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Camilla Hawks, obviously for being a representative for your beautiful company, YOMA. Without any further ado, allow me to welcome the representative for Goodwool, Mr. Ross Foreman, the co-founder at Goodwool. Mr. Ross, how are you, sir?
Well, thanks so much for having us on today. Once again, I think, following Camilla's sentiments, really awesome weekend ahead, and yeah, really a pleasure to be a part of tonight's lineup. So I think Camilla did a great job at actually introducing the YOMA ecosystem, of which Goodwool does exist within, and Goodwool is essentially YOMA's digital app in Africa. So as Camilla mentioned, really excitingly, there are over 350,000 users in Africa, but over 2.5 million youth globally, which you're able to interact with. So essentially, Goodwool exists to connect youth to opportunity and really to try level the playing field in terms of connecting to different learning and earning opportunities. So highly encourage you all to have a look, download the app. I think, can you see my screen? Great. Okay, yeah, there we go. It's up. So I think just a quick introduction. Each user is able to have a unique profile. The profile is a skills-based profile, and it's a really supportive community. So please do have a go, get engaged. And then in terms of local and global opportunities, we will be featuring more local and global opportunities, but there are a number existing on the app already in South Africa. And then the core of the platform currently is really our signature program. So as Camilla mentioned, Circular Innovators is one of those, and I'll dive into that one currently. But what you're really able to do on Goodwool is connect with like-minded people, chat, engage with different content, have fun, and actually earn really good money whilst learning. So this is just a typical example of the youth journey, super easy to interact with, get involved, participate in challenges, learn about something slightly new, and share your opinions. So that's just an example. Really watch a few introductory videos, bite-sized TikTok style, super engaging, pitch and present, and then stand a chance to win. So we run a number of different types of programs on Goodwool. Some of those can be seen here. Youth innovation, which includes the likes of entrepreneurial type challenges, youth insights, and then action-orientated challenges, as well as upskilling challenges. So that brings me now to the Circular Innovatives Challenge, which I really encourage you all to have a go at. And I'll tell you why now. It actually ends on the 20th of November, so you've got 8 days to do that. Try download the app and do it this weekend. It's in collaboration with obviously YOMA, UNDP, and UNICEF, which is really exciting. And essentially what you are able to do is take part in this challenge. There's a prize pool of 55,000 Rand. 12 winners will receive 4,500 Rand. So quite nice timing where we are on the 1st of December, going into the summer holidays. And it's super easy to win, right? So really high chance of winning, especially with the cohort of youth that we're fortunate to be surrounded by tonight and this weekend. And all you have to do is watch the introductory videos, post a 1 to 2 minute video responding to at least one of the questions on the challenge. And then your video will be rated from 0 to 10 based on sustainability impact. So how effectively your idea contributes to reducing waste and promoting sustainability. Innovation and creativity. So how unique or innovative is your actual solution and business concept in the circular economy? And then feasibility. So is it actually practical and viable? So yeah, really encourage you all to take part. The Goodwill app is available on both the Apple iStore as well as the obviously Android store. So you can download it, and you're also able to access Goodwill from a website. Yeah, so really encourage you guys to get involved, download the app, start off with the Circular Innovators Challenge, hopefully win 4,500 Rand, and yeah, share your ideas with the wider Yoma community in Africa, but also the global community on Goodwill. So thank you so much, guys, and good luck for this weekend. Have fun, and hope it's super inspiring and rewarding.
All right, thank you so much, Ross Foreman, for your words of inspiration, obviously, and also obviously giving light to your beautiful business and the work that you guys are doing. All right, so we are literally at the end of this beautiful session, man, looking at the opening ceremony for this beautiful Circular Economy Hackathon. But without any further ado, allow me to welcome back Simone Smith for the closing remarks. Simone. Okay, guys. Okay, cool. So I've got word because of technical difficulties, Simone unfortunately has left the platform. I just want to thank every single speaker that has been part of this platform. I want to thank every single partner. I really want to thank all the participants that are really participating in this beautiful hackathon. Look, the power of hackathon, as much as we're looking at building these innovative solutions, it's all about networking and creating moments with the people that you'll be working with. So let's minimize and optimize this moment as we begin to share in these couple of days together. And all the best of luck. And of course, to all the mentors, I really wish you all the best of luck, and obviously just be there for the participants, really hold their hands. There's a beautiful saying that each one teach one. And of course, you guys have made it in this platform or in this moment, so you guys have the opportunity now to share all the knowledge and wisdom with the participants. Have an amazing rest of the day. And on behalf of the Startup Business Campus team, we thank you so much for this opportunity. And on behalf of Mbilisi, we love you so much and have an amazing weekend. Peace. All right, so I got Mr. T on the platform. Before we go any further, allow me to welcome Mr. Tiane Ngwenyama. Mr. Tiane, how are you, sir?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Mr. Tiane, are you there, sir?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can clearly hear you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm all right, sir.
I am good. I apologize. I nearly, left without even having a word with you. I know for sure when it comes to hackathons, you are the go-to guy. So I'm going to give you the platform and just have fun. Yeah.
All right. There have been a couple of questions coming through Songeth, coming through email. But the first one to address is the one with the teams at Goodwill. So many of you are coming in with ideas from the challenge into the hackathon. But essentially, one of the key questions that was asked was around, how do you then go about participating, and how will the presentation look like as such? So essentially what the hackathon is a combination of two words, hacking in a sense of, utilizing different technologies, combining different methodologies, researching, and at the end, really having that sprint of being able to develop technologies. And then the other word is a marathon. So essentially, this is a marathon of hacking as such. And in terms of what your team is expected to do at this hackathon is to really go through that process of identifying different technologies, see what technologies can you use to bring about a solution? So at the end of the hackathon, your team needs to showcase that you are able to think through a technological solution and be able to present in terms of that. But what we then encourage is that through the hackathon platform, we'll be using a platform called Sonke for this. So we do encourage that try to team up with people who are able to develop solution technologists. I will share my screen just quickly just to take you through that. So there's that, and then there have been a lot of questions on teams as well as to how does a team look like. It is advisable to be in a team. If you can't find a team or you can't form a team, you can work alone, but it is strongly advised that you work with a team so that you are able to utilize other people's capabilities and strengths. So your team should essentially have a mixture of people who are able to build technologies, people who are able to understand business, people who are able to understand innovation, people who are able to research. But obviously, sometimes you can be a John Wick in that process, where you are essentially a one man doing everything as such. But your team needs to really possess and be able to put forward such skills, because you need to ensure that your team is able to come up with a concrete solution. You need to ensure that you're able to understand the technological pipeline in terms of your solution. You need to ensure that you're able to think your solution from a user centricity in the South African context as such. There was a speaker earlier on who was talking about, ensure that you are building solutions that speak to the community as such. So that is really an advice to everyone. Really think through from your existing community, from the kind of research that you have done. Perhaps there could be some data that is saying something, but in that regard, you really need to ensure that your solution is localized, it is contextual, it makes business sense, and it really speaks to addressing key issues within the sector. So the circular economy is really the focus for this hackathon. But what would be a good start for everyone? You are hearing this word circular economy, circular economy. You have been seeing videos, you have been inspired tonight, but do you really understand what is circular economy? So perhaps just start there as well to really try and understand this sector. Do research, what's out there, and if you are about to come up with a similar solution, what makes yours unique? What is your unique selling point? So just try to really go and explore the different solutions that are out there and ensure that your solution really stand out top. Okay, I'm about to share my screen. All right, so this will be the last thing from my side. Okay, tab. Program director, can I confirm that you can see my screen? Oh, okay, yes, it is there. All right, so you have been invited to join the Sonke platform. So the Sonke platform is essentially what we'll be using for the hackathon this weekend. As soon as you have created an account and you're logged in, you will see the Imvelisi logo, and then within the space, this is where it's essentially the hackathon hall is where the general communication will be coming into. And what your team needs to do, so we'll be posting this panel from time to time. This is the Circular Economy Hackathon 2023 panel. The hashtag is always there for your for your reference. So the first thing that all the teams need to do, just ensure that one member of your team, once your team is ready, essentially start off with this button. There's a button called Profile Team. And this is where you essentially get started. So so for example, I'm just going to put out dummy data quickly, and then my team name maybe is called Cool Gigs. And then the project URL, don't worry about it for now because you're just starting with the team leader. Maybe put the project name. Maybe Amagwinya friendly. Well, just be creative, but also when you're coming up with your team name, just think that this is the project that when you're coming up with your project name, think of a project name that really relates to your solution, because this is the name that your solution could be launching against. So the challenges will be loaded, but for now, there's only one that is set out against the theme. And then as to where are you coding from, so the virtual option will enable it there. And then the description of the project. So you couldn't then just write your description. So I urge all the teams, just ensure that you have got at least one paragraph of your project description, because this is what the judges will actually read on Sunday. Just ensure that the judges are able to understand your solution fully. So who's mentoring my team? Maybe Tejo. What technologies are we using? So this is quite important as well, because you need to show that your team has thought through of technologies that will help you scale. So I'm just giving an example. So could be using maybe React as well, and other technologies. So list as many technologies as possible. And then this one, especially if you're attending virtually as well, but try to specify what sort of needs is your team looking for. Maybe you could be looking for policy documents, for an example. So just specify what your team is essentially need. And then I've now profiled my team. So what happens immediately after profiling? There's a new channel that gets created called My Workroom. So in your workroom, you can then be able to manage your team, add your members, and all sorts of things. But I just want to quickly wrap up here. And then the panel as well has got a lot of things. Again, my team, you can access a range of things there. We will try to enable the competition analysis to show you some of the potential competitors that your solution could be competing against. And then there's a drop-down called key information. So on key information, you really want to keep an eye on this, because this is where the judging criteria is. You can check out who are the judges, who are the mentors. You can also check the music playlist as well. You can also download the hackathon briefing document that gets generated from the system, essentially. The prizes are loaded as well. So and then resources, will be adding resources throughout the night. If you need help, at any time, let's say maybe there's an emergency as well, you can essentially write out a message in terms of what you need help with. So you'll see they have written Juaki Ingi. This is a reference to a famous tweet. And then whatever your request, and then you can specify the agency in terms of that. So anything, if you have got a headache during the hackathon, or maybe anything to do with someone breaking the rules as such, or maybe the environment is not conducive enough, so do utilize this feature here. This is the SOS need help, but there are some pre-loaded messages as well. Sometimes you might be looking for business model guidance, for example. Do specify that, and then that goes into the mentors. The business toolkit, this is quite important as well. So what will be key for your team will be to essentially create a lean startup canvas, stating your problem statement, the solution, the customer segments, the unique value proposition, metrics such as how many customers are you targeting by this particular time, how many users, and then also unfair advantage, distribution channels as such. There will be mentors that can be able to assist you and guide you through this. So in terms of the lean business canvas, once you have filled in the information and generated, that also judges have access to that in a canvas form. So maybe let me quickly fill in here, program director, just to maybe show you exactly what's going on here. I'm just putting in dummy data for now, and then I'm submitting the canvas for my team, and then your team's canvas has been generated, and then you can basically just preview it. Okay, oh, I need to share the other screen. Oh, okay. Seems like this has stopped sharing. All right, yeah, so I've just generated the lean business canvas for my team. At this particular time here, we're at the Circular Economy Hackathon. This is the project. So your lean business canvas, by filling in the information, gets generated like this. But obviously, you'll fill in more information, and then this will look nicer in terms of generation. But this is the structure of which many of you might be familiar from the business model canvas. Just want to really run, but you can also open the toolkit. So the toolkit allows you to prepare for launch as well. So there's a launch pad. Also you'll get to see some of the startups even in the green economy. Maybe let me just quickly open it. So when you open the startup toolkit, it gets sent to your to my work room. So you can keep track as to what are some of the startups in South Africa. We do have some in green economy that might be doing something similar to yours, and a whole range of things. And then okay. This is always a favorite. So for those who are there physically, the hackathon is yours. You will have control of the hackathon essentially. So the music that gets played, is essentially you can just click the button request song, and then let's say maybe you're missing someone during the hackathon. You can request a song to get played at the venue. So this is like a jukebox. Forever, yeah, now for an example, yeah, now. And then who are you dedicating this song to? This is optional, but maybe you're dedicating this to Yena, and then you can submit your song request, and that song will get played at the venue. But also you can keep track as to what are others requesting. So the music playlist here. Essentially, you'll keep track as to, and then also request a repeat of that song, or you can play that song even at your own time. But yeah, so key information in here is what you really need to keep an eye on. The schedule will be updated, but there is a draft schedule, so you'll just click there. Ask Woody, this is the knowledge center. So if you want to use a dictionary, the weather, understanding government policies, data visualization libraries, we do have those as well. And then Kononia Code, so a friend of code, essentially in vendor. So you can get the platform to build you a basic website. You can generate QR code and get some guidance with that code as well. This is a social media tool here. So, so for an example, maybe you want to post about your mentor during the hackathon. That already gets pre-generated for you. Or you can tweet about the weather as well. Let's say maybe I want to give a shout out to Kondi, who is my mentor. I can just essentially get that tweet or LinkedIn message generated like that with her information. But yeah, so essentially your circular economy startup panel will always appear here with the purple color. Just make use of that. And then on Sunday, your team will need to utilize this button to submit material. So on Sunday, your team just need to click this button, submit material, and then submit project material for the hackathon before 1 p.m. on Sunday, and then you'll just hit the submit now button, and you'll be able to upload your slides or technical documentation. But essentially, the judges do have access to those slides after they are submitted. Program director, I want to end here, but to reemphasize something with regards to the flow as well. It's essentially at a hackathon, we normally say hashtag team no sleep. So just ensure that you observe the weather and prepare ahead. If you want to take a nap, do bring some warm clothing. You can bring in a blanket as well. It will be fun. It will be a learning experience. But as of now, take it slow. In your team, do a work breakdown structure. Allocate tasks to each other, and ensure that everyone in your team really understand your project, and never ever underestimate the task ahead, because sometimes people tend to do that and it end up badly. But find that solution, set focus, understand each other's strengths, utilize each other's capabilities, and build the best solution. Program director, I yield back. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to Mr. Diana Ngwenyama for really structurally taking the participants through the necessary requirements that they need for the hackathon. All right, so first and foremost, I'd like to thank wholeheartedly all the partners that have been instrumental in this journey of the Circular Environment Hackathon. I'd like to thank UNICEF. I'd also like to thank Digital X Yoma. I also want to thank Green Matter, EWCETA, as well as Geek Culture, Goodwill, Department of Science and Innovation. I also like to thank WISA, Water Institute South Africa. I also want to thank the ICRD Group, the Business Clinic and the Startup Business Campus, as well as the Department of Forestry, Fishes, and the Environment Republic of South Africa. I want to urge all of you that throughout the entire hackathon, please do make sure that you guys are posting, taking pictures, and tagging the Invelisi page. And also don't forget to hashtag CEHack2023, and also hashtag Circular Innovators. I am your host, Karabo Mohola. We'll see you obviously tomorrow, bright and early in the morning at Bono at 8 a.m. sharp in the morning. Have an amazing rest of the week, and sharp.